Developed and published by Actual Entertainment in 1996 for the PC, Gubble is a neat little puzzle game and one of the more bizarre games I remember playing while growing up. The main focus of this game is to use various tools in various levels to get rid of various things, such as screws, nails, and bolts, all while avoiding enemies like this, and this. It's a simple concept that works out pretty well. Now, this game is a bastard to get running on the PC. I actually have the disc of this, and I think I bought it back in 2000 or 2001. This was originally going to be my first LP, and I planned this out all the way back in 2013, but due to constant technical difficulties and a lack of free time, I've had to put it on hold until now. Case in point, I have 4 computers, and each has its own little quirk while playing this game. My old desktop just doesn't read the disc. My new desktop, which I built this year, plays the game at half speed. It's kind of hard to explain. My laptop plays the game fine, but can't record the game very well, and my oldest computer, yeah, this little piece of junk right here, actually plays the game and records it, but it can't edit the videos. Also, I'm not sure if this is a problem with the disc or my computer, but a few of the levels just don't play. This isn't really a big issue since it's only about 3 levels last time I checked, and they're optional. You know, they actually made a sequel to this game. It's called Gubble 2, and surprise surprise, I actually have that game. So maybe I'll LP that one in the future, but I'm getting off topic now, so let's just start the damn game. Well, welcome to Let's Play Gubble. Now you might be asking yourself right now, what exactly is Gubble? Well, let's just watch the intro and see if you can figure it out. Well, it's obvious what this game is about now, right? You know, if you wait long enough on this screen, you get to experience the gripping backstory for yourself. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. So, here's how to play the game. Basically, you just use your arrow keys to move Gubble, and you use the spacebar to make him fly, and that's about it. I'm going to be explaining this a little bit more as I play it, but right now we have the basics down, so we should be good. Alright, so let's go ahead and play this game. Now this is the first overworld, Renegar or Renigar. Gubble controls like you'd think, he can fly with space. You also press space to start the levels, and the levels are called Zimbots in this game, I don't know why. So here's our first level, and this is the general layout of what all your levels are going to look like. You're going to have tools, you're going to have enemies, and you're going to have things to dismantle. Now here's our first mechanic, and it's hovering. When you hover over your tool here, you can cause an enemy to bounce off whatever tool you have selected, because if you get hit when you have a tool selected, you take some damage, and that's not very fun. So this is a bonus Zimbot, and some levels have them and some don't, and basically what you do is go around collecting various tools, in this case they're all screwdrivers, until you run out of time or you hit the right score. And you'll know when you hit the right score because a little 5 coin will appear. Also, you get these little speed boosts here, which are essential for completing these later on. So right there I got the 5 coins. There's no real reason to keep on racking up points. Unless you want to get a best score, which I obviously couldn't get this time, but that doesn't really matter. Every bonus Zimbot gives you a reward. This one gave me a little speed boost that lasts for, I don't know, 30 seconds or so. So that's the first level. What did you think? I mean, it's pretty simple, right? Well, just wait until it gets a little bit more difficult. You'll notice that that block has now disappeared, so we can go and complete these other 2 Zimbots. And I have to mention that you have to complete every single Zimbot in an area in order to go on. Now, I just saved the game, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about save management later on because it plays a huge part in this game. So this is the second level, Renegarb, and it introduces your worst enemy in this game. I am talking, of course, about the bolt remover right there. This, I don't know why they programmed this the way they did. Usually every tool you can hover over it, but this one, when you try to hover over it, you pick it up. I don't know if it's intentionally programmed that way or what, but it makes the game unbelievably difficult later on because you'll have to learn really quickly that you can't hover over this damn thing. Thankfully, in this Zimbot, it's really easy to use this thing, so it's a pretty good introduction to the tool, although it's fairly misleading because later on, oh man, some of these levels are ridiculous with the bolt remover. Anyway, that's for another time. So let's get introduced to another mechanic in this game that is going to pretty much become standard after this level, and I am talking, of course, about enemies that have a mind of their own. Notice in the last Zimbot we had these little blue guys that are walking around. This time we have little red guys. The red guys have a mind of their own. They will try to find you and wreck your shit up. Same for the gears here. It's weird. Some gears are on fixed paths and others are not, like these. I don't know why, but that's just the way it seems to be. So this plays into an element of this game where you have to kind of predict the movements of enemies. You have to be very cautious in this game because you never know what they're gonna do. Alright, so I cleared that path, so now we have to pass these 4 Zimbots. This Zimbot right here has my favorite tool in the entire game, and I am of course talking about the hammer. I love the hammer because it is super fast. You don't have to waste that much time trying to get all of the nails out of this level. Some tools later on will become really ridiculous in terms of time management because the thing is, once you start unscrewing or I guess nailing something, you can't just hover and stop halfway through it. You have to wait until it's complete or take a hit. And later on, this will become crucial that you learn time management. In contrast to the last Zimbot we just did, this Zimbot has my least favorite tool in the entire game. Because the hammer was so fast, that's great, but now we have the drill and it is the slowest tool in the game. I hate this damn thing, and when I was talking about time management, I meant for this thing specifically. So here's a mechanic that's introduced here, and it's these springboards, and they come into play maybe 3 times in the entire game. But what they do is they spring you to a fixed location, and you never know what that location is, so it can become a little bit difficult. So let's go over here and do our second bonus Zimbot, and I think I'm going to put a counter for how many bonus Zimbots we do because this game doesn't tell you how many you've done. They're all just called bonus Zimbots. You'll notice that this Zimbot looks a lot different than the last one, but the concept is exactly the same. You just go around, get a fixed amount of points, and I don't know, try to get the 5 coin or don't. It doesn't really matter because you don't need to get the 5 coin in order to get the reward. You just have to play the bonus Zimbot, which, I don't know, that's kind of lame actually. These bonus Zimbots, I swear, they do get a little bit more interesting as time goes on, but for the first couple of stages, the first couple of, I guess, hub worlds, they're a little bit boring and bland. So I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate your health bar down there. Yeah, on the bottom left you have a health bar, and I'm just going to take a couple of hits until I get to red health, just to show you how much you get healed when you go over a health block. Which is, I don't know, it's either 1/3 or 1/4 health. It's not a lot. That brings me to one of the more important aspects of this game, and that's save management. You notice when you save the game, you get full health, which is just another aspect of save management that's so important. You can save the game, you can get full health, but the thing is, every world has a fixed number of saves, and you really have to play the game right in order to use your saves properly. But I'll talk more about that when it becomes more relevant. Now this Zimbot introduces a new mechanic that barely comes into play at all during this entire game. You'll notice that I can't go through this object here, but I sure as hell can hover over it. Yeah, I mean, I guess you could do something interesting with puzzles regarding that, but they don't really try in this game. It's just a couple of obstacles that you have to fly over, and honestly they help you more than they hinder you, because it's just another obstacle that enemies can't get through. Alright, let's go and make our way over to the last Zimbot over here. So far we've learned a lot of the mechanics of the game. We've learned about bonus Zimbots, we've learned about, I'd say about half of the tools and how to use them. We've learned about bounce pads, all that stuff. This level introduces the last real big mechanic of the game, and that is special Zimbots. Now, there are 25 of these special levels hidden throughout the game, and what they are completely optional levels. You don't have to do them. They're much like the bonus Zimbots, only if you die in these, you actually die. It's game over once you die in these. So they do make the game a little bit difficult. You know, this first special Zimbot isn't anything but tedious. It's not really challenging. I mean, I doubt anybody would play this and probably have a hard time with it. But at the same time, it does prey on your boredom a little bit. I've taken a few hits so far, and that's mainly due to me just kind of wanting to get done with it and taking chances with the drill, which I'm probably going to do a lot more in the future. I mean, it's kind of hard to tell from this level right here, but later levels will get really difficult. Some of them will get completely sadistic, and they take a lot of concentration and a lot of skill to pass without dying or without wanting to throw your keyboard out the frickin' window. Because, I mean, it may not look like it from this one, but later on these are going to get very difficult, and I'm going to probably have a hard time with a couple of them. So the rest of the stage is kind of pointless. The entire stage just acts as a way to introduce special Zimbots to you, because these enemies will not come after you. They're all on fixed paths. There's no way you'll hit any of them unless your spacebar is broken or you just want to hit them for fun. Anyway, that's the end of Renegar, so we're gonna go and save here so that we can start the next level, which is gonna be a little bit better. So I'll see you guys then.